Welcome to Waldameer Park and Water World in Erie, Pennsylvania. And obviously what you're looking at now is the Water World section, which has grown by leaps and bounds over the past few years. Now, I've made a walkthrough of the park a few years ago, but enough has changed that I wanted to show you around again. Now, that's the main entrance. There are actually a few different parking lots that get you into different areas of the park, but that's the main one that you'd encounter in front of Water World. And you notice the number of picnic tables around, and also you see the statuary, which are throughout the park. The park has lots of places where you can just bring your own picnic lunch and set up and have a nice day cooking hot dogs and hamburgers if you want. And on the left, you'll see all the different picnic groves that are in the park. This is one of the new rides, Chaos, which is basically a 360-degree rotating frisbee ride. In front of us, you could see the Elruth Express, the miniature train passing, and that's the Comet roller coaster, which is a classic junior PTC, Philadelphia Toboggan Company wooden roller coaster created by Herb Schmeck in 1951. So when you come in this way, you basically turn left here. There are picnic tables on the right as well. There's the station for the Elruth Express. You can see the Scrambler over on the left. There are the picnic tables. And there's guest services over on the right. We're going to swing around to the left here. There's the Music Express, which most parks have. Nice spin and barf ride. And this one does go backwards. Some of them, they decide not to make them go backwards. To me, that's pointless with the Music Express. You want it to go backwards. And there's some games over on the right. Beyond the fountain is the bumper car building. And then over here on the left, there's some restrooms, and there's Vortex. And also you can see on the far left is another huge round pavilion. That used to be the actual carousel pavilion the park had many, many years ago, and they turned it into a picnic pavilion. Now, up here on the left is another entrance. It's the W2 gate. I find it the most convenient place to park, actually. You go around to the back of the park. There's a big cemetery on the left. You follow that road, and it's a really good place to park because it gives you direct entrance, unless you want to go to the picnic groves. Over here on the right is the park's carousel, current one. It's a fiberglass carousel, but very nice. Now, you notice that concession was closed. Well, like everybody else this year, they were having a lot of trouble getting help, so I was amazed at how much was actually open on the Midway. They did a really good job of staffing in difficult times. And here's the entrance to the Comet. And they were running 2 trains on it that day, which is great. Makes the line short. The arcade was over on the left. And over here on the right is the formal entrance to the water park. There's also the potato patch for some nice fresh-cut French fries. Over on the right is the Parrot Trooper, and just beyond the Parrot Trooper are park offices and some more restrooms. And as you can see, they got plenty of places to sit and eat when you're in the park, and they have plenty of good old park food, so hamburgers, hot dogs, French fries, funnel cakes, all that stuff you'll find. Now notice this log over here, and it says, since 1896. Waldameer, when I was there this year, was celebrating its 125th anniversary, which is a milestone. There's a link in the description to another video about a presentation done by the National Amusement Park Historical Association congratulating the park. It's only 14 parks in the entire country have made it this far, so Waldameer has been very well shepherded through over a century of enjoyment for families in the Pennsylvania area. You just saw the big rigs over there, and now we're in the Kiddieland section. There's balloon race, Now, lots of family rides, so there are a lot of rides just for kids, but there are a lot of rides that families can do with the kids as well. You can see the big Ferris wheel over on the right, and they have a lot of classic Herschel rides here as well. Over here, they were locked up when we were there because they didn't have enough personnel to run them, but they do have the pedal carts, so you basically crank the handle on them and it takes you around that little track, and that's a really fun thing kids like to do. There's the Ravine Flyer 3, the kiddie coaster. And where's Ravine Flyer 2, you might ask? Well, we'll get to that in a minute. What we're doing is we're taking a sort of counterclockwise sweep of the park, although there isn't, again, like a small park like Knoebels, there isn't a formal midway. There is the lift hill of the Ravine Flyer 2, which is one of the most intense coasters you'll ever ride. It dives off a cliff and then jumps over a bridge across a highway and then goes on to another section of land across the highway and then comes back. It is a really intense ride.
Are you sure you can wait? I mean, if I run out of...
This is now called the north end of the park. You can see the SS Wally there, the tugboat. And there's teacups and a swing ride. And we're going to keep walking around here because there's this little hidden area. And I think you're going to see the coaster come blasting through here in a minute. And hidden away back here in the arms of the roller coaster is a memorial park dedicated to two members who were both in Western New York Coaster Club and American Coaster Enthusiasts, Thad Lewandowski and Nancy Kerrigan, who were longtime members and worked really hard with the group. And that was nice that the park put a little memorial in there for them. So let's continue on, and we'll take a right-hand turn over here and continue on our counterclockwise sweep of the park. Waldameer is the fourth oldest operating amusement park in the United States at this time, and like many trolley parks, it started off as a picnic grove. In fact, the name Waldameer in German pretty much means woods by the sea. So it's been family owned since that time. It started off with the Miller family, and they sort of ceded it over to Paul Nelson, who was Mueller's apprentice for a long time, and Paul Nelson is still there after 75 years. He started working at the park at 11 years old and worked his way up to be the park owner and has shepherded this park through a lot of hard times and has done really well. And his daughter and son-in-law are the managers at the park, and they're doing a phenomenal job as well. So over on the right here, we have the Sky Ride, which is just a two-way trip, so you just go out and come back. There's no stop at the other end of the park. There's a nice Herschel set of flying jets there. There's a Wipeout, and behind that is the station for the Ravine Flyer 2. And there's also the Lakeside Picnic Grove, which is yet another little place you can have outings or picnics. And there's the Spider. And over on our left would be the park's gift shop, and they have some really nice gifts that are Waldameer themed. And this yellow box that you see in front of us is Wally Bucks. So like many parks, this is a cashless park. You can bring cash, but then you go here and you can get these cards that you can recharge called Wally cards, and that's how you buy stuff in the park. Or you can pay with debit card. And this is the amazing Bill Tracy Wacky Shack, which is one of the last surviving Bill Tracy dark rides in existence, and it's a lot of fun. And then in front of us is Pirates Cove, which is another Bill Tracy ride, and that's a walk-through funhouse. That's really good. There's a Tilt-A-Whirl, and there's X-Scream on the right, which is their drop tower. There's Pirates Cove. And I've got another video if you want to walk through that. I also have another video of the Wacky Shack as well. There's some fresh squeezed lemonade. That's really good. There's the entrance to X-Scream. Like many parks from the golden era of amusement parks, they had a big dance hall that was very popular. There it is, Rainbow Gardens, and it's now used for big functions and events and conferences and parties. And in front of us now is Steel Dragon, one of the park's 2 spinning coasters. And over here is Thunder River, the park's flume ride, and it's really good, and sadly the day we were there, it wasn't open, but there's the entrance to it, and it's got a really neat fog tunnel that you go through. And in front of us now is Whirlwind, which is the park's 2nd spinning coaster. It's a kiddie coaster, so if the kids are too small to go on Steel Dragon, they can have fun on Whirlwind. And this is the other ride that was new since our last visit, this and Chaos. In the background now you can see Alibaba, which is a falling star ride, and that wasn't running when we were there. And it's pretty obvious that the pandemic really wasn't stopping anyone from coming to the park. The place was pretty packed, and the water park was packed as well, and hardly anyone was wearing masks. And people were feeling comfortable and feeling fine about being out, so Waldameer was having a pretty good year, except for the fact they had trouble finding employees. There's another Wally card dispenser in front of us, and they're all over the park, so you won't have any trouble finding them. And over on the left is the Comet and the Carousel, and that brings us full circle back to where we came in. Hi, Karen. So as you can see, the park isn't really all that big. There's a lot packed into a small area, and it's big enough for small children to really feel like they're in a big park, and there's a lot to keep them occupied. We always have a good time when we come here. There's always plenty for us to do, and the people are always very friendly, and it's a very relaxing environment. So I can't recommend highly enough, if you're in the Erie, Pennsylvania area, make a stop at Waldameer Park and Water World.